will be eliminated, and our first player, as I find Creighton's camera, in the bottom left-hand side, representing Team Liquid, the Dutch legend. It is Liquid Fermi.
And uThermal's opponent in the top right-hand side, a member of the newly formed Shopify Rebellion. In the blue, she is our Canadian Zerg player. Her name is Scarlett.
So excited about Shopify Rebellion, Creighton. Representing Toby, who is like a trillionaire that formed Shopify, and a huge StarCraft 2 fan. Tiello, as project manager, going to do amazing things in the esports scene. But for now, they've started off with 3 incredible pickups. Scarlett, Bjorn, and Lambo, who is actually casting over on the D stream. And this is their first outing. And I just can't wait to see how they do in upcoming leagues and upcoming tournaments. This game looking to start off pretty normal. I actually was curious as to whether it would be hyper-aggressive, as both players are very capable of it. But so far, we're calm before the storm.
Yeah, which is great, you know. Both Scarlett and uThermal, as you said, are known as sort of more aggressive players, but there's nothing that stops them from going to the late game. I mean, I can't tell you how many Scarlett games we've cast together that end up with, 400 Corruptors and a couple of Broodlords and some Ultralisks, and she somehow found an Immortal from another game that was next to her and like roped it into her army as well, you know. So both these players very, very confident in the late game as well. No surprise to see him with these pretty standard openings. And Scarlett going hatch gas pool, and we got the very classic Reaper first opening here. Or pardon me, Marine first opener. No, it is Reaper first. I was right the first time. Never mind, Grant. Reaper first opener.
Believe in yourself, Graham.
I should. It's the fact that I'm still a little bit sick. Yeah. So my brain is on like 90% capacity now. So yesterday, my brain was at about 50% capacity. And I was just like, everything I say is going to be wrong. Yeah. Absolutely wrong. And I just expected, and now I'm up to 90% capacity, so only 10% of the things I say are wrong, but I still doubt myself. So hopefully I'll feel back to 100% by tomorrow. But for now, uThermal, just hop into with the Reaper, not getting too much done. I'm going to try to hop up in the main base. Should see that third base pretty quickly here as well, but he's gone the wrong way on this initial scout. Doesn't really matter too much at all.
One thing I will say is uThermal has 2 Marines at home patrolling, denying any scouts. And I wonder if he's going to do something cheeky. And he is. There is the 3rd command center. It was an SCV and a Marine, that were patrolling. He really wanted to make sure this goes unscouted. And that quick 13C, coming in. Meanwhile, Scarlett actually forced to make a spore as the Reaper was being annoying, nearly getting that 1 kill. Didn't manage to pick anything up. No, just 1 leg. But it has gone down. A bit uncharacteristic from uThermal, as he is known for his Fermi Reapers, a popular emote over on his channel. Starport coming in, Scarlett droning up. She's got her 3rd base down. She's not showing any signs of aggression just yet, as we do move into what is going to be a mid-game that, if this continues to be unscouted, could be uThermal favored.
Entirely possible, yeah. You know, Scarlett's 3rd base was down in really good time, though, so she's still going to find herself in a pretty good spot. And, both these players just going, as you said, into the mid-game at fairly reasonable times here. And playing, I feel like both of them playing a little bit I was going to say respectfully, but that seems like the wrong word.
No, I think it's right.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go with it. I think they're both. There you go. Both players really, very well aware that their opponent could be scary. I feel like Scarlett and uThermal are both players who, as a caster, I'll watch them and I'll be like, oh, uThermal, he's just sitting back. He's just macroing. And then immediately in 30 seconds, he'll go to this like terrifying, yes. Oh shit, he's got 16 Hellions. I didn't see that happening. Oh god, they're all in the natural. Oh no, this game is just over. Like, so both these players really well aware that this game could be over quite quickly, and they don't want that to happen.
Already a slightly not standard opening here from uThermal, who went 3cc into Cloak Banshees. And usually if you go 3cc, you're going to be, focusing on getting your bio up or things like that. And it is going to be bio from uThermal here as 2 more Rex go down. Bailing Nest on the way from Scarlett. And I think Scarlett will not expect this, because if it was Cloak Banshee, usually it would have hit by now. It would be hitting about now. So Scarlett's probably feeling confident. She hasn't got spores and probably isn't aiming to get any at this point. She's getting her lair, though, which is nice. She's really droning up heavily, though. Up already towards 60. Soon to break that mark. Getting some spores now. But I like this from uThermal. He does need to find a bit of damage, though, because he's not going to have much at home. So slowing down Scarlett, I think, could be important. If we take a look at the units tab right now, he has 3 Marines and 6 Hellions, and that is it. But these 2 Cloaked Banshees that are unscouted, making their way downtown, gonna see if they can find some worker kills here.
Yeah, you know, we saw this a similar build, a little bit different, but a similar build in the Bunny versus a Laser series where Bunny was going for those Cloaked Banshees as well. As you said, he wasn't going for the third CC first. But, you know, before the series, I kind of chided Bunny a little bit, and I was like, oh, man, nobody goes Cloaked Banshees anymore against Zerg players. Zerg players kind of figured out Cloaked Banshees. They sort of know how to defend against them, and Cloaked Banshees really don't do that much damage anymore. And Bunny genuinely found a lot of damage, and already uThermal finding a bunch of damage as well. 7 drones already, and these Cloaked Banshees should be able to get out with their lives.
I think that's the most important thing right now. If he can get out with these, and I feel pretty confident uThermal will do a good job of keeping both alive, and he has done, then he can continue to use these aggressively in the coming minutes when he starts using his Bio and his Hellions at the front door. Spire going down from Scarlett, so we're already seeing a bit of a switch away from the ZVTs we've seen so far, which have all been Hydra Lurker based. This is going to be more traditional Ling, Bane, and Muta, which is my favourite thing to see in the world. uThermal's 1-1, getting there, a little bit ahead of his opponent. uThermal, very good usually with keeping his upgrades. Once he gets one going, he'll keep them rolling and rolling until he is all the way up to 3-3. And, I mean, he's done a good job. He's kept Scarlett off of 80 workers by the 7-minute mark, which is kind of where you want to be. She is working towards it now. He's got 60+ workers of his own, moving up into the 70s where he wants to be. And this is going to very much come down to a mid to late game control where it's going to, I mean, who makes the first mistake?
That's exactly correct there, Grant. Who makes the first mistake could be what this game comes down to. There's so many, and I'm glad you pointed out that Scarlett's going for a little bit more traditional Ling, Bane, Muta style here, because we haven't seen that yet today at all. E-Laser went Hydra Lurker all 3 games. And when you're going Ling, Bane, Muta against this Marine medevac tank style, it really can come down to the engagements here. And if Scarlett gets greedy, if she gets caught by surprise, or if she plays too passive and lets uThermal sort of pick and poke at her army for a little while, both of those can be recipes for disaster. Luckily, her 8 Mutalists are going to come out at just the right time. Hopefully, she'll be able to sneak on top of these tanks and grab them. But it's the same problem with uThermal. If he's too passive, if he lets Scarlett get out on the map and do a counter harass, do a run by or something, the game can end up badly for him as well. So really, both players on the knife's edge here, and this is as good as StarCraft gets.
Yeah, uThermal doing a great job. Scarlett is renowned, famous for her creep spread. So you have to force it back. Her Muta control, on the other hand, maybe not quite as famous for that, because she did lose a couple to the Marines there. That shouldn't have happened. Now, uThermal still has those Banshees up at the top side, just clearing up a couple of Lings and things like that, but he's really reinforcing, parade pushing almost towards this position, and we did see Bunny do the same thing earlier today, and he did a very good job of it. Now, we do see a lot of slow banelings rolling in off creep. I'm not sure I like this Scarlett. They're going to get targeted down. The splits are insane here by Mark, because he's now got a lot of units left. He still has those Hellbats in the front. There's no banelings on the field. Scarlett is down in supply, and uThermal is out for blood.
Now, Grant, that was a mistake. There's no other way to say it. I don't know what Scarlett was thinking there. Even though the Banelings had speed, moving Banelings so far off of creep into that many Marines, there's no other way to say it. You can't sugarcoat it. That was just a huge mistake from Scarlett. So many Banes going down that last fight. If you pull up the battle report, oh, they didn't make the game with...
they
didn't make it with Observer Plus. Never mind. I was going to pull up the battle report and see. But Scarlett lost, what, 15, 20 Banelings there?
Yeah,
and only 2 of them really connected.
Yeah. She's also lost a couple of Mutas, 81 Lings, she's lost 18 drones, and this is now Scarlett really committing to an attack. But uThermal is going to split like the Great Sea, and I mean, he will eventually be cleared up, but it's so efficient for him. He's killed more Mutas, he just killed another 3 there with just a small handful of Marines. And look at the reinforcements moving down the south side of the map right now, Creighton. It's a big army. uThermal is up 28 army supply plus. Does he still have the Banshees? I'm very curious. No, he lost the Banshees finally, but... I don't know what Scarlett's going to do. She needs more Banelings. She needs them now. She needs more Mutas. She needs more Lings. She needs everything.
I'll be honest, Grant. I'm just a little bit disappointed that you said split like the Great Sea instead of saying split like the Red Sea, because that's what uThermal is. Come on, man.
That's what I
Golden
wanted to
opportunity.
say. I fucked it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. We got 11 more Banes on the way, but
so
Scarlett's going to need some insane Bane hits. Yeah, they're very late here. She's going to have a total of, it looks like 20 odd Banelings, maybe. But already uThermal pre-split. He's got the double tanks in the backside here. The tanks spread just far enough away, by the way, where the Baneling splash damage probably won't hit both of them unless uThermal is, or unless Scarlett is really perfect with it. And this is just getting worse and worse. And Scarlett knows it. GG, uThermal gonna grab game number 1 in.
Yeah, I think it probably is. I'm very surprised it was that easy. The Banshees found some damage, but it really wasn't like a huge amount. And when all was said and done, it was just too easy there for uThermal. Scarlett kind of just died. I mean, the big mistake there was pushing off of creep all of those Banelings.
Yeah, which is it. You know, it's so strange, Grant, because Scarlett, as you said, she's known for her creep spread, but in the last couple months, she has been one of the players doggedly sticking to Ling Bane Muta over time. Her control, unbelievable with Banelings and Mutalisks usually. Able to multitask and do a phenomenal job. So it was surprising to see her make that kind of a, I don't want to say a rookie mistake. It was certainly a gamble that she took. But I think, I don't know. Obviously, we have perfect information. We know so much more than the players do. We play with map hacks and they don't.
Yeah.
But it seemed just like a gamble where she just didn't seem like she was going to have a very good chance at return on investment for that. So a little surprising to see that engagement. Yeah, I think that was the beginning of the end for Scarlett there. Losing all those Banelings just allowed Thermi to push and push and push. So we'll see what happens here in game number 2 as we move over to the NA server for our next game.
Yeah, that is something worth mentioning. Game 1 was played on EU. Game 2 will be played on NA. So ping advantages favouring, Scarlett in NA and Mark in EU. Maybe there was a small lag issue, you never know. Guys, I know the music stopped in the last game. I double checked it. It was on continuous and turned on. No idea why it stopped. I think it was just a bug, but I restarted and I've restarted the client and it's working again now. So we'll be getting into our map 2 very shortly. And we'll have to see if Scarlett can bring it back. It looks like Lightshade will be map 2 here, Crayon.
You're an excellent producer, Grant. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. This is great. I'm so glad, by the way, and this is going to sound a bit, stupid on stream live, but I did want to say, Grant, I thank you so much for doing all the production today. For those of you who don't know, the A stream has that cool, virtual holo deck that they're doing. They've got a production crew in Switzerland that's dealing with everything. They got a Hollywood background that helps them out with their stuff. And the B stream happens from Grant's bedroom.
It's just being somewhere in. We have someone making games for us, but yeah, I am hosting from my PC. We are picking our games as we go. We're observing ourselves. We're doing everything ourselves here, guys. So I know it's not what you expect from the A stream, but it is just the two of us. We're doing our best. So, and it's day 1. It's day 1 of 6.
And that means a couple things. It means less downtime for us, which is great. We go straight from game to game to game. And also, since I'm a little under the weather, it means a lot to me, Grant, that you're taking over production today. So I wanted to say thanks for for taking care of all this. Because, like I said, my brain is still at about 90% capacity right now.
Yeah, even things like ads and stuff like that. That's all us. So it can be hard, and sometimes something may slip. But we are trying our best. So go easy on us. We'll only get better as the week goes on. As we move on throughout the tournament. Of course, we will be here for the next 6 days, including today. Tomorrow is a very short day with just Uno series. But apart from that, we'll be here for 5-6 hours every day next week as well, up to Friday.
Thursday, I think, right?
Probably.
I think it's Thursday. If not, I've got Thursday. But
you're probably right. I just wing it.
I'll be here anyway.
Yeah, me too.
One more thing from chat before we head into game number 2. I know there's been a lot of questions in chat. Why aren't we in 1080p?
Yeah.
Grant is broadcasting in 1080p, but since it's a Twitch thing, since this channel, the ESL StarCraft 2 B channel, isn't a Twitch partner, Twitch itself can throttle the quality of those streams when their servers are under high load. So Grant is broadcasting at 1080p, but since this channel is not a Twitch partner, that we get automatically downgraded when their servers are low. So unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. But honestly, for those of us who lived through the 180p days,
128p of GSL,
on Justin TV,
yes,
you know better than to complain about that, don't you?
Yeah. For now, let us get into map 2 as it has begun, and we are now here on Lightshade, our first player in the top left, representing Shopify Rebellion. She is the rebellious Zerg player in the blue from Canada. It's Scarlett.
And on the bottom right-hand side, in the red, representing the Netherlands, he is Team Liquid's uThermal.
Shut up.
I'm a little disappointed he's not on his uThermal account.
No, they all have accounts.
I know they have to play on the real accounts, but come on.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, isn't it? I know. We can still do it. Okay, so uThermal, not going to go for a 2 ranks or anything like that. He was a player who, in his time, was very, I don't want to say cheesy, aggressive is the way we say cheesy without saying cheesy. But in the last year or two, he's very much become a solid macro player as well. He always was, but he's become a really top-tier solid macro player. And Game 1 showed that he is vicious when he smells weakness. So I'm interested to see what he goes for. Does he go 3cc here on Lightshade? It is a small map, so I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be against seeing a more aggressive opening, trying to eke out an advantage early here. Maybe quicker Cloak Banshees or lots of Hellions, a Hellbat attack maybe, something like that. Scarlett has gone Hatchcast Pool here and does look like she'll just be playing standard, looking for a third in about 30 seconds.
That's great, man. Again, you know, Game 1 ended with a bit of a short, sharp shock there as uThermal's basically first push just kind of won the entire game. But, you know, hopefully here in Game number 2, Scarlett can find a little bit more sustainability and maybe get into her actual build a little bit more strongly. Because I think it was Scarlett's first 8 Mulisks came out just as uThermal was like hitting at her third base. So maybe this game she'll get a little bit quicker, or get a more robust army out a little bit more quickly, and maybe do a little harassment if she can manage it. I think that'll help her control the tempo of the game just a little bit.
Yes, people have been saying Scarlett maybe not looking in her best form. Scarlett's a player who, once she warms up, will suddenly switch it on. So hopefully we'll get to see that. This is the elimination match. Scarlett is actually 1 map away from being eliminated. She did lose her first series to Cyan 2-0, which is a bit of an upset too. uThermal, 3cc again here, Creighton.
Unbelievable. I mean, totally believable, totally expected, but still very cool from uThermal. And there's a reason he's doing this 3cc. Not only is it a standard build, you know, going for the 3cc pretty early against a Zerg player, you're seeing it more and more, especially even on the ladder. But also, he spotted the third base down from Scarlett very early. Again, Scarlett getting that third base down around the 2.5 minute mark, which is about as early as you can really get that third base down for a Zerg player, unless you go for like some sort of crazy 3-hatch first build, you know, something like that. So uThermal knows he's not going to get nailed to the wall by some sort of, you know, Roach Ravager all in or something like that. Going to give him plenty of time to get that third CC up and to go for another Stargate or a Starport. And look at that, a Tech Lab on the barracks. Is he going to swap this bad boy over?
Yeah, he's going to do the exact same build. Why not? It worked the first time, so he's going to go for it the second time as well. And I don't hate it. He's obviously confident in his Terran versus Zerg build. I think we will see Cloak start up once he gets a bit more gas as well. And uThermal going to go for 2 Banshees, Cloak, and another aggressive push. And maybe just try and kill Scarlett in the exact same way twice. It is a good map for sieging up at the third here. It's a little bit more open, which allows Mutas to pick off tanks a little easier. It's not as good as our first map here. But uThermal's done a good job of keeping his Reaper alive. Sorry, Grant, what were you saying? Bailing Nest coming down here. Cloak has started out for uThermal, and Scarlett is just not able to scout anything. That's one thing that maybe has been missing from her play today. Her scouting, she's not sacked an Overlord at all. She's playing very, very blind.
Yeah, and that's really surprising. You know, Scarlett is a player, not even Scarlett, all of the Zerg players these days, I feel like need to be more aggressive with their scouting. Not in this matchup necessarily, but especially in ZVP these days, because Protoss have so many options with what they can do. I was just saying the other day on my stream that I was like, man, Zerg players need to start getting a little more aggressive because they keep getting caught by surprise by these, you know, yeah, this is really nice pickup there, 2 Hellions going down. Zerg players keep getting caught by surprise by, you know, Protoss players going for double Stargate, and they're like, oh, I didn't see all these Void Rays coming. So I feel like they do need to be more aggressive, and I'm a little surprised to see Scarlett not sacking that Overlord and going on in for it.
Yeah, we see a lot of the European Zergs get that Overlord speed early. Cyril, Reynald, they love it, so they can get some information. Now, Scarlett is getting her lair. Picking off those Hellions is nice because uThermal did use Hellbats in that first attack, and that allowed him to do a lot of damage to the Lings and the Banes that tried to come in and to micro well. His splits were insane in Game 1. And if he can do that again, he's still going to be in a good spot. He does have 1-1 quicker than that of Scarlett. Scarlett is now making an Overseer as well. I'm not sure in what location that is being made. At home, okay. I was hoping it would be the one by the Natural, but no. uThermal has his third down. Double cloak Banshees coming in. This time it looks like Scarlett should be a little bit more prepared.
Thank goodness, because it was painful last game to see 6 of those drones going down right away. 3 drones, slightly more acceptable damage here. uThermal's got to be a little bit disappointed that he didn't get quite as much damage done. But honestly, 3 drones, I think, is about what you expect as a Terran player these days. Getting 6 was certainly a bit of a Christmas gift.
Yeah, as long as both the Banshees stay alive, uThermal can be happy because the pressure never ends. He has the option to just go and repair, of course, rebuild up that energy for Cloak. Scarlett moving out with her queens. I think she really wants to try and catch these Banshees. It's not going to work out for her. Yeah, she even has the overseer with the queens. So good defense. The Scarlett's creep spread is, I mean, it's Scarlett-esque. We're 6.5 minutes in. It's looking great. It's not been denied in any way. The Hellions actually not moving to deny it. All of these Lings going to take down the rocks here, but uThermal getting a good scout of how the map is going to play out. And this time, Scarlett can make those 6-7 Mutalisks as soon as the Spire finishes right now. And hopefully they won't immediately fall down or lose a couple to a drop like they did in Game 1.
And this is that gorgeous sort of butterfly effect that StarCraft 2 lends itself so well to. Because 5 minutes ago, Scarlett caught those 2 Hellions in the middle of the map and killed them off. Therefore, uThermal can't clip back as much creep. Therefore, Scarlett's queens can get out on the map and sort of deny these Banshees from doing anything. Therefore, like, there's so many things that happen sort of in a row, because this. And it all started with those Hellions getting driven back a little bit. So I think that's one thing that put Scarlett in a really good position this game. And it seemed like such a small thing at the time, but looking back, big game changer here as uThermal suddenly pushing out on the map.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake here from Scarlett, as she did have Baneling speed, so Critical Hooks was done, but she didn't make any Banelings, so she did have to give up a good amount of creep towards the top centre of the map there, as she didn't have the Banelings to contest. But it wasn't the end of the world. She has a lot of queens with a lot of energy, and you can see this Scarlett creep tumors going straight back down here to keep that spread. And now Scarlett's starting to really surge across. She cannot be losing Mutas. Okay, does manage to dance out with them and keep them all alive. I don't think she lost any there. Nope. In terms of resources lost, really nothing has died in this game so far. 1-1 is done for uThermal, and it's only just started for Scarlett. So this is a scary push right now that Fermi is building up towards the centre of the map, Creighton, and Scarlett's going to need to find some Baneling hits here.
Yeah. The 1-1 is so important. Think about how important, think about how quickly Marines fire. Every single shot of a Marine is affected by that +1/+1. It's not like you're running like Banshees or tanks, which attack very slowly. And especially since you're fighting against Banelings, which die pretty quickly as well. So that 1-1 advantage for uThermal is going to be huge here. I don't know if this is necessarily a game-ending push. It certainly could be if Scarlett makes a blunder in defending. But her creep spread this time a lot better. Her Baneling should be able to get on top of these tanks and Marines as long as she goes pretty quickly here. And she also has more Mutalisks out this time. She's got a much better chance of defending this time, and she's setting up for a big flank.
Yeah, here we go. Scarlett now going to run in with a bunch of Lings, split them off. They didn't really go for the tanks or anything here. The tanks have got a lot of fire left to give, and there's a lot of Banelings going down here, but uThermal, I don't think he has enough this time. Scarlett will push him back. Maybe uThermal's reinforcements are here already, and the Baneling count once again is down to 1. There's only 12 more in production, and they're not here yet. They're being produced so far away. This base is going to be under siege. Creighton, I honestly don't know if Scarlett's going to be able to hold the space.
Those were some timely reinforcements. It was like Gandalf the White showing up at first light on the 5th day there with these extra Marines popping up over the hill to destroy the rest of Scarlett. As you said, the Baneling count very low again, and I gotta be honest, Grant, it feels like the rest of this game gonna be a carbon copy of game number 1. uThermal's got that 3rd base down. Now Scarlett has a 4th and a 5th base, but they're not mining yet. She can't afford to build drones right now. She's got to be going all in on Lings, Banes, and Mutas, and there's just way too much for uThermal here. Now if he gets a little sloppy, he might lose some tanks to the Mutalisks and stuff, but honestly, again, we're gonna see him not parade pushing across necessarily, but waiting until he's got that critical mass and coming across. He looks like he's in a very strong position though, and Scarlett is in very real danger of getting knocked out, Grant. 0-2 in the first lower bracket round.
Yeah, and that would be surprising. I actually had her as someone I thought would go quite far. The Muta's too far forward. They do get a tank, but she's bleeding Mutas a little bit here. They're all very low. It does look like uThermal is going to fall back to reinforcements, knowing that maybe, just maybe, he's overstaying his welcome. Scarlett is going to take that opportunity to pounce, but the tank's unseized and the Banelings do rule the ground. uThermal going to show us those splits once again. They're so good, and with reinforcements here, Scarlett, you're too far forward again. You cannot chase this far off creep. Look how many Banelings she's lost.
really interesting. uThermal was waiting until absolutely the last minute to reinforce. In game number 1, we saw him parade pushing, sending Marine in a single file line across the map over and over again. This game, he's been sort of sending his Marines in waves like he's playing an arcade game, where he's just like trying to bait Scarlett into an attack and then being like, oh, surprise, I have reinforcements as well. Bit of an interesting strategy there from uThermal. I don't know if it makes too much difference. I feel like it might be, 6 of one, half dozen of another. But he's, again, going to find a nice position here in the natural. And man, it's going to take a lot more banelings than what Scarlett's got to clear all this.
Yeah, the baneling's getting some okay connections, but there's so many Marines hidden behind these siege tanks. All of the mutas have fallen. And GG, uThermal eliminates Scarlett.